My name's Eric Prosher, and I represent Jesse Brown VA Medical Center. And you're watching a live call-in program brought to you by Can TV 21. So over the next 25 minutes, I have two very special guests, and we're going to be talking about the Wounded Warrior Project's Independence Program, and we're also going to be talking to the Executive Director of Naomi Ruth Cohen Institute on Mental Health Education about the 16th Annual Community Conference. So feel free to call us with your questions. We're live. You can call us at 312-738-1060. All right. Hello, Angela. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Wounded Warrior Project. Could you tell me a little bit about Wounded Warrior Project, its history, your role in this organization, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, no problem. Wounded Warrior Project is a nonprofit organization dedicated to serving post 9/11 veterans. We right now currently serve over 100,000 veterans and active duty service sometimes through the country. We have about 20 different programs that we offer free of charge to veterans and their family members, kind of based along the lines of economic empowerment, engagement, mental health, physical health and wellness. I think that covers all the pillars.
That's a lot.
I specifically work in the Independence Program. The Independence Program works to serve those who have moderate to severe traumatic brain injury, spinal cord injury, and debilitating neurological conditions. Right now we currently serve a little over 600 warriors.
600 warriors. So those of you at home, we have a little clip to give you a little bit more information, and then you can call us with your questions again at 312-738-1060. Whoops, wrong one.
My name is Shane Parsons. I'm 27 years old, and I'm from Fostoria, Ohio.
Going to a baseball Indians game. Oh, is that right?
What happened was we just got off of a mission. I'm hauling butt, just rolling, and then bam, just hear a pop. The last thing I remember is being on the ground, and somebody punched me in the chest and said, "Wake up."
He had lost one of his legs, and they had to amputate the other leg to save his life. The amputations were very critical, but that wasn't what his fight was going to be. It was going to be his brain, because with a traumatic brain injury, it is a very, very slow recovery. He has short-term, long-term memory losses. Those are for life. That will never be 100%. But what do? You overcome those barriers. You overcome the obstacles. What I think has really changed our lives, I remember receiving a phone call from Wounded Warrior Project asking if Shane would be interested in getting evaluated for a new program called the Independence Program. And it sounded like a perfect fit for Shane.
The Independence Program looks to provide one individual, we call them a community support worker, to work one-on-one with a warrior on meeting goals that warrior and their family and our case managers have worked to create.
I was brought in with the goal that we would work with Shane and try and get him maybe out in the community, find a job, start working, making some of his own money, start doing things a little more independently.
The traumatic brain injury took away his ability to read and write. The Independence Program staff with Wounded Warrior Project said, you know what, we're going to hire a tutor for Shane to continue his speech. And I couldn't believe that Wounded Warrior Project was going to foot the bill. And Shane has done so well. He's just advanced. He's reading signs on the street, writing his name, writing numbers, addition, subtraction. It's amazing.
The Wounded Warrior Project was able to find people who are experts at what they do. And then from there, they found somebody who might be an even better fit for the situation.
Wounded Warrior Project called me and asked me to look at Shane. He needed somebody to get him moving. We do a lot of bands. free weights, cable machines. So he's really getting a full body workout. And it was a little struggle at first, but then it's like every day it got better and better. And where he got to the point where he was like kind of looking in the mirror and like, wow, I look great, I feel good. It meant a lot. This project means a lot.
It's like an amazing team effort, the way everything came together.
It's very difficult for me as a mother, and I'm not getting any younger. What will happen to Shane if something happens to me? But I can honestly say, today, after all the experience that we've had with Wounded Warrior Project, I don't worry like I did before.
Wow. For those of you that are just joining us now, I'm Eric Prosher and I represent Jesse Brown VA Medical Center, and we're here today with one of our community partners, Angela Allen from the Wounded Warrior Project. And we just saw a powerful video about the Independence Program, and so let's get right down to the nuts and bolts. Who's eligible? How does it happen? This seems like it's too good to be true.
Well, it's a huge partnership. Eligibility to get into the Independence Program is first to be a Wounded Warrior Project alumni, so post 9/11 service, and then you can definitely just call our resource center, which is, oh goodness, I'm sorry, 1-800-WWP-ALUM is to call the resource center. You can definitely get registered right like that. If you are an eligible alumni and you have a moderate to severe traumatic brain injury, spinal cord injury, or a traumatic or neurological condition, service connected with the neurological condition, you're definitely eligible as well. And Shane's a great example of one of the more extreme ends of those who we serve, but we also serve guys, brain injury, as we know. You can walk around, you don't necessarily have to be the amputee that people see on it.
Well, because brain injury is one of those invisible wounds that you can't see or notice in first appearance. How do, what kind of documentation do you require to be eligible for that program?
To be eligible for the program, any sort of diagnosis or documentation
Like
from the
VA
VA or any
any
private
provider?
doctor.
Any
Yes,
provider?
yeah,
Okay.
we're here. Our main focus is to serve those who need it the most.
Yes.
Um,
So, yeah, Shane was amazing, and it was touching that, you know, the mother talked about, hey, I'm not always going to be here, and one of the goals of the program was to get Shane to be integrated and more independent in the community. And I noticed that when you had a couple different people working with them, is that typical of the
It's very typical in the Independence Program. It's a very large collaborative team effort. We work with the VAs a lot of the time. We'll work with private providers. We're not here to take over anything that you guys are already doing at the VA. We're entirely here just to support and add that next level of support.
Yeah.
It involves a whole community. It starts with the Independence Program specialist, myself. We have specialized brain injury and spinal cord injury case managers that we've hired along. And through there, they work individually with the families and the warriors and what's locally available in their community to see what their goals are and how they can continue on to do those goals. It's Shane's a great example. Is he had gotten so far with his speech therapy, wanted to continue to learn to read and write, and his big goal for a long time was to learn to write his name again. And so we went out into the community and we found a special needs teacher who used to be an elementary school teacher and was able to convert her previous career into a new career working with Shane.
Okay. That program seems really unique, as I've been in the VA since 2005 and I haven't seen anything like that. Sometimes in the VA, through our rehabilitation programs, you know, veterans reach a certain goal and then they kind of get transferred out of the program, but they still have further needs, you know, to increase their independence. So are you aware of any other programs like this? Or
At this time, I'm not. We're a very young and new program. We're about 5.5, 6 years old, and as far as I know, and as far as I think most of us know, we're really the only ones out there getting into the community, translating what the veterans are learning in their rehabilitation into the home and taking it into the community to allow them that next step.
Now, is there a cost to the veteran or the family?
Everything provided by Wounded Warrior Project is 100% free to the veterans and their families. Wounded Warrior Project, we pay all the bills, we pay all of the registrations, any of the fees charged, and that money all comes from private donation that we receive from our donors.
Wow.
So it's really cool. I really enjoy getting out and especially talking to those people who do donate and get to tell them about the stories and all the great things that the money that they've given us have done. Like, how would you like to hear, hey, you make that $19 a month donation, and we're helping Shane learn how to read, and Shane also has been really active in volunteering with the local middle school football team, kind of giving him a new purpose. And recently, he's actually gotten into a lot of sled hockey, and he's helping get a lot of other veterans, especially with brain injuries and spinal cord injuries in the state that he lives in, out and about and getting them more involved. He's become a great peer mentor to a lot of guys.
Great. So how far is the reach of the Wounded Warrior Project's Independence Program? So you're working with us at Jesse Brown, but where is this program?
We're a nationwide program. We cover, we do have offices, 22 offices across the country, but we cover everywhere with the Independence Program. The great part of the Independence Program is we'll come to you. We reach a lot of veterans who are out in rural areas who aren't able to get as immediate care as those guys who are lucky enough to live here in the Chicago area. It doesn't matter where you live, what town you live in. We serve warriors in Hawaii, Alaska, huge population in Florida, and we're all across the country.
Wow, that's great. Okay, callers, we only have a couple more minutes with Angela here, and so don't miss out if you have any burning questions. If you want to find out more about the Wounded Warrior Project, what's the best way to find out?
To find out, you can go online to www.woundedwarriorproject.org. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let's see. I'm not great at social media, so I don't know what else is out there.
Okay, well, that covers it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that covers a lot. So there's lots of options.
I definitely, if we talk a little bit more about the Independence Program,
Sure.
So Shane is definitely one of the more severe wounded cases, but a lot of times we're working with the guys like we talked about earlier, the invisible wounds. One great thing that a lot of guys I work with deal with is organization and memory issues, especially within the home. So the CSS, or Community Support Specialist or Community Support Worker, that Cindy talked about in the short film is really great. A lot of times they're going into the home with the warrior, setting up the goals and a plan, and helping that veteran and warrior stick to his plan, coming up with different unique and creative ways to continue that on and make it something sustainable. Our purpose in the Independence Program is we're not here to cure. We're here in for the long haul.
That's awesome. Wow, we have a caller, it sounds like. Hello, caller. You're with Jesse Brown and Wounded Warrior Project. What is your question?
Hi, I have a question about TBI and going back to school, and I was wondering if Wounded Warrior helps. If a veteran's goal is to go back to school, do you guys help with that at all, or do you provide any academic assistance or maybe cognitive retraining or anything like that?
That's a good question. So the question is, a veteran has traumatic brain injury and they're interested in going back to school. It sounds like the caller's asking what kind of assistances or help can your program provide for someone in that situation?
As far as if you're looking for financial assistance to go back to school, we definitely within Wounded Warrior Project have a benefits team that can definitely help you explore and look into all the options that are available through GI Bill, Voc Rehab, and everything.
But it sounds like
within the TBI department, it's definitely, we kind of look and evaluate individually upon what the specific needs of that warrior are. We definitely first like to look into what resources are available through the school, and this is something that the case managers through the Independence Program can assist with. What's available through the school, the VA has some great grants for getting tutoring, and also we have in the past. We are not clinical through Wounded Warrior Project, but definitely it's definitely through the Independence Program the option to come in and provide extra tutoring, extra assistance to help you continue on with that goal is always something we can explore through the case manager, the IP team.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's great about the Independence Program is we customize each and every individual program that we do to the warrior and their specific needs. We don't have a general like cookie cutter fill it in. Everything's specifically built around that individual. So it's kind of.
Well, Angela, I really wanted to thank you for coming on and
Awesome.
sharing with us about your programs. Very exciting, and maybe we can have you back sometime soon.
Awesome.
For those of you that are just joining us now, you are watching CAN TV, and this is Jesse Brown, VA. We're watching Veterans Issues, and I'm from the Transition Care and Management team. And today, this month of May is almost over, but it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we have a special guest. Her name's Kate Mahoney, and she is the Executive Director at the Naomi Ruth Cohen Institute for Mental Health Education. And welcome,
Thank
Kate.
you so much, Eric.
Uh,
I know that title can be a mouthful.
Yes.
But we're excited to really be doing things at the Naomi Ruth Cohen Institute related to both mental health education and some advocacy to shift how people think about mental health and really to try to reduce the stigma that unfortunately is still connected to people who struggle with mental illness, trying to help people think about building mental wellness,
Yes.
skill development, and support systems, and then how we can also really benefit in our communities about the great strengths and gifts that people with mental illness can still bring to the community.
Yes.
So if we can reduce some of that stigma and see the value of people, we will all be better off.
Yes. So you guys are also big on community partnerships and joining and connecting. And could you tell us a little bit about the mental health conference coming up, which is on June 4th at the
Absolutely. It's at the Beth Emmett Synagogue in Evanston.
Yes.
It's our 16th annual community conference,
Wow.
which is pretty exciting. And we've had wonderful, interesting themes over the years. Every year we tackle a slightly different issue related to mental health education. And what's really exciting about this year's conference is we're focusing on raising resilient children, prioritizing their mental health. So we're hoping to bring together community members, parents, social workers, people from the school system, general community members, as well as mental health professionals to really talk about a wide range of issues about what we can do to give children and teenagers a great start in life so that they can really launch to be resilient and healthy young adults.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the conference. I've attended a few in the past, and each one has been spectacular. And on top of that, I understand that it's donation based this year, and it's also if you're looking for CEUs, if you're a provider out there, I think it's only $20 or something to
It's
that effect.
so yes, actually we've decided this year the real goal. So the Naomi Ruth Cohen Institute was started by an amazing couple, Larry and Marilyn Cohen, who started initially a foundation and then it became the Institute in memory of their daughter, Naomi. And they really want to get out there and get the word out about mental health. And so they've been doing these conferences, and this year they decided, we're just going to make it optional if someone wants to pay a registration fee. People can, and I will tell you about half the people coming have elected to choose the zero fee option. And we are welcoming and embracing all those folks because we want this to be accessible. And we are hoping that each person that comes will then kind of share the message with a few other people, and that's how change can happen, by people talking to each other about what they learn. And so if people are like clinical social workers or professional counselors, they could pay $20 if they want continuing education units, and they could earn in that one single day 5 continuing education units, which especially as I myself am a clinical social worker, we're up for renewal pretty soon. It's a good time to get those. And then actually people who are certified addictions counselors can get their CEUs for free.
Wow.
So it's a great way, and I'm not sure.
Bang for the buck too.
Yes. So we want to make sure anybody who needs access to education, whether it's just for their own self-edification or professional development, that we're there for people. And what's beautiful about this day, and I know you've been there before, Eric, we create a beautiful community of caring that day. Yeah. And so people learn from each other, share experiences, life experiences, ideas, resources. I've seen such amazing thing happens in sessions where somebody's like, you need to talk to this place. It really helped my family. So it's been really wonderful. So I hope a lot of people will come out on Sunday, June 4th, and share what they know and learn a little bit more.
Yeah, one of the unique aspects of the conference is that they have these keynote speakers and a panel and great discussions that happen. But then after that, there are breakout groups with a variety of related themes to the topic. This year I will be leading one of those breakout groups on dealing with loss of deployment, children that have to deal with loss of a parent during deployment or a fallen parent from deployment. But there are a whole range of topics.
It's amazing. We have 19 different breakout sessions that people get to choose from. And what's nice is that in those breakout sessions, as you know, people learn and they also get to share. They get to talk, they get to share ideas, they get to ask questions. So it's very interactive. And we've got some really exciting things. So in addition to this really important one about helping children who live in families that are military families, that are making the sacrifice to have a parent or another loved one serve, and sadly those who've really made the ultimate sacrifice, who've lost someone who's in service. But in addition to that, we have some really exciting topics about how to better work with schools. We've got a director of special education who's going to be there who help people figure out when your child has some special needs, how can you partner with the school and how can you get your students' needs met. So we've got that. We have a really interesting professor from the Chicago School of Professional Psychology who's working on the issue about digital kids. In this era, I think a lot of parents ask themselves, how much is too much? What's the right amount? I don't want to say you can't have access to any of this digital world because you'd be missing out on a lot, but when do you need to, eat, sleep, talk to other people and not just be looking at a screen? Exactly. So there'll be a great opportunity to kind of talk about what those fine lines are. Yes. We actually have a fabulous thing that's going to happen focusing on mindfulness and drumming. Oh, wow. So people who like something a little bit more interactive. So we definitely have something for everyone.
Great.
The conference includes a free lunch. It's a great, so there is such a thing as a free lunch at the Naomi Ruth Cohen Institute.
That's right.
And so it's a great opportunity, I think, for people to network and to learn something and to really walk away at the end of the day feeling enriched.
Great. So that's Mental Health Conference, Beth Emmett Synagogue in Evanston. That is, so how would someone register for that?
So one of the easiest things is to go onto Eventbrite and search for Raising Resilient Children, or you could just Google Raising Resilient Children. You can also go to the Naomi Ruth Cohen Institute website. That's another option, but actually if you put on your computer and you type in Raising Resilient Children, this conference is going to pop up. I've checked it many times. But going right to Eventbrite allows you this, again, registration that if people do choose to pay or they are paying the fees for continuing education units, they can do it there with a credit card, or people who are choosing for the free registration, they can still select which of those two groups they want to go to. Let us know what lunch option they have, because we have a couple choices for what you'd like for your lunch.
Even vegetarian.
Yes, vegetarian, turkey and tuna. And give us that opportunity so we can connect. So we hope people will register in advance to make sure that we have everything prepared for them just right. But the other thing I'll tell you is we will take people who want to walk in the day of. So if Sunday, June 4th, someone wants to show up at the Beth Emmett Synagogue, the Free Synagogue in Evanston at 1229 Dempster Street, right at Dempster and Ridge, we will have people there to welcome them as well. So
great. Okay, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I wish the conference the best success. So please come out, show your support. I'm Eric Prosher from Jesse Brown VA. This is Kate Mahoney. Earlier it was Angela Allen. Sounds like we have one caller, but we have 1 minute left in the show. So why don't we take that caller? Hello, caller. What is your question?
Hi. I have a question for Ms. Mahoney.
Yes.
My question is in regards to stigma.
Yes.
So in the beginning you talked about stigma and how huge an impact it has on persons with mental illness, which I agree. I'm wondering how the Institute or the conference addresses internalized stigma.
Well, that's a really important issue. One is by bringing people together, by talking about mental health. We encourage, if people feel comfortable, to be talking about their own experiences with any struggles with mental health. But that's not everyone's going to feel comfortable. That's not going to be the right decision for everyone. But we want to give people the opportunity to dialogue, and we think it's really critical to have this as a community conference so that people realize that there is really no health without mental health. We need to be together, and we need to be able to talk about it and provide services to people and support, and recognize the amazing strengths people bring to the table.
All right, thank you. We have to wrap it up. For the Memorial Day is coming up, so remember to honor and respect those that have fallen. Jesse Brown VA will have a parade, and it will be on Saturday at 10 a.m. We're spot 71. That's on Wabash between Clark and LaSalle. Okay, so to learn more about our organization, call 312-569-VETS, and that's Jesse Brown VA. Please tune in. June 22nd, we'll be back here, and we'll be your hosts again. Next will be the West Garfield Park Youth, and stay tuned to follow us in 5 minutes.